this is the third time I've tried to film this video in the past like hour, and it just has not worked. It's gotten too busy. People have been talking to me. Riley needed something and then he left, and it's been a whole thing. But I am really excited to be sitting down on my bed with some comfy blankets, just ready to talk to you guys. It's been so long since I've vlogged, except for I've vlogged like 3 times today already, but none of those worked out. I try up the stairs. I'm a little winded. But I haven't talked to you guys in so long, and the thing that I'm going to talk to you guys about, which you already know obviously by the title, is cosmetology school. And this has been floating around in my mind for about 1.5 years, and jumps in, it jumps out, it jumps in, it jumps out, it works, it doesn't work, it makes sense, it doesn't make sense, all of these things. So, oh, there's the charger. Oops. So I wanted to discuss it with you guys because I'm the kind of person who needs to talk things out and learn all the facts and talk to people. And even if I don't listen to the opinions of the people, like if I don't do what they say, I still really like to have all the opinions that I can get, because I like to feel validated in my choices. I generally have the idea of what I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna do it or if I'm not gonna do it, but I definitely do talk to Riley and see if it's something we can make happen. And then I like to talk to like my family and his family, then obviously you guys on social media, because I love hearing real life stories or people's opinions, as long as they're like nice. Like if they're criticizing for a good reason, what is that, constructive criticism, for a good cause, then I understand it. But if you're just gonna be a jerk or whatever, like I don't want to hear your comments, but anyone else's, I would love to hear what you guys think. If you've gone to beauty school, if you know someone who did, if you know, whatever, if you've had this same kind of thought process as I do, please let me know, because this whole video is so that I can talk to you guys about this topic. I love, love, love being able to converse with you guys in the comments instead of just getting a comment and then saying thank you. I like to be able to talk with you guys and have a conversation. And so anyways, without any further explanation, I'm just gonna jump in and start talking about cosmetology school, because that's what this whole video is about. So I have been thinking about going to cosmetology school for a long time, and it kind of jumps in and out, like I was saying, 2 times. So when I lived with my parents and when I lived with my friends, I really highly was considering going to cosmetology school, because the bills that I was paying was very minimal, but it made sense back then. But the only thing that didn't make sense was that Riley lived 3.5 hours away. So I would come visit him on weekends and he would come visit me. But I knew we were getting engaged within 1 year from whenever. So cosmetology school takes 14 up to 18 months, depending on your school, depending on where you live. In Idaho, you have to get 2,000 hours of your cosmetology school, and so that means about 14 months minimum in a 5-day daytime class, or like 18 months if you do like a 3-day class, like 3-day-a-week class. So it would take about 15 months regardless, and I knew that I didn't have 15 months to stay in one spot, because once we got engaged, Riley was either gonna move in with me or I was gonna move over here where I live now with him. And that means we have bills. We have more bills than I had before. And so, well, not really, but once we get married, we have our own house. We have our own car insurances. We have our own things that you kind of jump off your parents when you are a certain age. I pay all my own bills right now. Riley luckily does not have very many bills. So when I lived back home and with my friends, it kind of made sense, but it didn't make sense. The money made sense and I wanted to go, but the timeline didn't make sense, because the schools that are over there, the credit actually wouldn't transfer to the schools here. So I would have had to go to a school down in Utah, which is a complete state away from me. And that would have made 0 sense because no one lives down there. Like, I don't live there, Riley doesn't live there, and so the only way I could transfer from that school to keep my credits for the 9 months that I went would be to go to Utah, which made 0 sense. So I didn't go back then, and now that it's summertime and I'm kind of thinking about what I want from my career, what I want to be able to do, and kind of just everything. Cosmetology school has come back into my mind. I really, really love hair. I love doing people's hair. I love getting my hair done. I just love the transformation, and I love the feeling that you get when it's done correctly and you like it. And I've done my own hair for a long time. My mom's done her own hair, and then she goes to a salon and I see what they do there. I did my friends for a while. I played around with doing hair. I had purple hair, I had blonde hair, I had brown hair, I had all these kinds of hairs, and I just love it. I love the fact that it's such a drastic change, but it's just your hair. Like, you didn't get a permanent tattoo on your body, you didn't get a piercing and it really, really hurt. You dyed your hair, which grows out, or you can do a demi-permanent and it washes out. Like, I love that because it's such a drastic change, but it doesn't have to be drastic. Like, I just love that. And I love YouTube more than honestly any kind of job I could ever have in this world. And so the fact that if I did go to cosmetology school and I could vlog it and I could make videos about it, and then once I graduated, I could do people's hair and make videos about it, and hopefully one day open up my own salon and have things all about that, like, meshing my two dreams together blows my mind, because that's totally a possibility. So I've been thinking about it a lot lately and talking about it with Riley and his mom and my mom, and just really, really considering it. The only thing is, I'm being pulled in like 6 different directions, and here's where the video is gonna get long, you guys. So I'm sorry if you're really not interested. That's fine if you click out, but if you want to help me and you want to hear kind of what's going on in my life, please stick around because I need you guys. So there's a school that I would consider going to about 15 minutes away from where I live right now. It's not the best school. It doesn't have that great of facilities from what I can see in pictures, and their website is horrible. And if you know anything about me, I'm all about social media and having a clean presence and having very light white backgrounds and having a clean aesthetic look. I don't like when things are old and outdated and don't look that great. I don't trust that, because you guys are all about, like, that company, that school is all about teaching people how to be professional and have a business and run a salon or work at a salon and brand yourself and learning how to be the best kind of stylist you can be. But their website is horrible and it's super outdated. So, like, I just have a hard time trusting that. So, and it's only by $200, but it's the most expensive school out of the ones I'm gonna tell you about. It's only by $200, but still, most expensive. So the good thing about that, the pros list right here, is that it's close. It's the closest school I could possibly go to. It's about 15 minutes away. That would make it so nice for driving and commuting and being able to still have time to come see Riley. Hopefully I have a job in mind that I feel pretty confident about, that if I do decide to go to cosmetology school, I could take the job that I do now and switch it and work from home part-time instead of doing full-time in the office. And so that would help out a lot too, because I could go to full-time school during the day, come home and do a couple hours of work every night from home just on my computer, which would be super helpful. So that's great. That's all fine and good, and it's the closest, which means I'd have the most time to work, get the most hours I possibly could, make the most money that I possibly could, spend time with Riley as much as I can, yada, yada, yada. But the education is not that great. And if I'm gonna spend $17,000, I'm not gonna go to a shoddy school that I don't feel confident at. Another pro though, is that I feel like the classes would be small because it's a smaller school. And I think I would thrive in a smaller class because you just get more time to one-on-one learn. So there's my one direction of being pulled. My other direction of being pulled is, do I even want to go to cosmetology school? After the 15 months, am I going to enjoy it? Am I going to like it? Am I going to be happy that I did it and spent $17,000? Or are we going to be like, we're ready to have kids, so, you know, sorry. I do not want to work once I have kids. Once I have kids, or even when I'm like in my last kind of like trimester, second to third trimester, I want to be able to stay at home. I want to work hard enough right now that we can have the money so I can stay at home, because I get sick so easily. I have dreamt about having kids all my life. Like, you guys know the whole spiel. I'm hell-bent on staying home with my kids when we have kids. So if that means that's in a year and a half or in 2 years, that means I'll be out of school for 6 months and then we're gonna have a kid. Or that means, what if we have one sooner? Like, you know, who knows? So that's one direction, is, do I even wanna do this? Is this the best option for me? So there's my 2 little things. My next one is that same school that's near me, but it's 45 minutes away. It's bigger, so it's their like home base. It's their big school, so you'd get a lot more, you have a lot better facilities. There's a ton more teachers, and it's just a bigger, more functioning school. And so I feel like that would be a better alternative to this little school, but it's 45 minutes away, and it's on a main highway. It's not just like through a town. It's on a main highway, 45 minutes. So at 9 in the morning, or at 8 in the morning to get to class at 9, and then once you're done at 5 and you come home, you're in rush hour both times on a main highway. Like, you're gonna get home an hour and a half later regardless. And so that means I would have to leave super early, and you know, it's still that same school. But that is an option because it's probably better than this one. There's my 3rd one. My next one is there is a Paul Mitchell school an hour and 15 minutes away. That would be ideal for me. Paul Mitchell, for sure, hands down. Of course, that's the best education I feel like I could get. Their website, their brand, everything that they do for their stylists speaks to me. That's what I need. That's what I want. That's what I'm, you know, that's where I feel like I'd be my best. But it's an hour and 15 minutes away. And the class that I could start is in November. So that means that November, December, January, February, March, 5 months of driving in weather, in winter weather. We have horrible, horrible, horrible winters here, and it snows all the time, and so the roads are gonna be so bad, and you can only miss so many classes and be late, that I would have to leave at like 7 in the morning to make sure that I got there by 9 o'clock, which means I'd wake up at 6 o'clock, which just sounds horrible to me. I'm so bad at waking up, and no thank you. Surprisingly though, it's cheaper than the other 2 schools. They give you a full Paul Mitchell kit instead of a kit that is compiled of like Babyliss and then different shears and different cutters and like different brands. They give you a full Paul Mitchell kit, and then they give you an iPad to take all of your notes on, to take all your quizzes on, to run your social media on and stuff like that. So they give you that, which is honestly a big pro because I like the technology era. I appreciate that. That speaks to me, but it's far away. And it's in winter, so no thank you. Like that, there's so many pros and there's so many cons about each individual option that I'm not leaning more towards one, really. I mean, I'm leaning a little bit more towards Paul Mitchell just because that's where I'd prefer to go ideally, but I know that I will get sick of driving for an hour and a half every single day. And you're done at 5 o'clock, so you're gonna get home at 6:30 because it's gonna take you a lot longer than you thought to get home. And like, I know I'll get over the drive and waking up early really, really fast. So that's my rant. I needed to get that out. Like, my body feels so much lighter now. But please let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, what you think I should do. We're getting married August 25th, and so I wouldn't start any classes until at least October, maybe late September, depending on money and how that all works out. I do want to work more doing full-time right now, just so I can get as much money and as many hours as I can before Riley's school starts. His school starts the same week that we get married, and then so he's part-time for school. Well, he's part-time for work and full-time at school, and then I'm full-time at work. But if I start going to cosmetology school, then I'll be full-time at school and part-time at work too, which then would hinder us moving out. We live with his parents right now. I moved here like 2.5, 3 weeks ago, and it would just, me going to cosmetology school would kind of disable our ability to move out in October, November, like I have been planning. I have wanted my own house since I met Riley. I just want to decorate our house and have our own little home together, and so that's a really big thing for me too, which is something that's really like hurting me against going to cosmetology school, is the fact that we wouldn't be able to move out until I was done, or by some grace of miracle that we made a ton of money and I could, because okay, my camera's dying, so I need to hurry up a little bit. But that's another thing that's really hurting me if I do go to cosmetology school, is that we probably won't be able to move out until my 15 months was done and I got a job again, because Riley won't be done with school for another 1.5 years. And so I'd end a little before he would. So that's a little rough. That kind of sucks. And I don't know. It's a little hard. It's hard to feel all of these things and want to go so badly, but want something else so badly. Like, I want a family so badly, and I want to have enough money so I can stay home with my kids when I do get pregnant instead of having to work. That's just what I want. That's what I've always wanted. So please let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you know anyone who went to cosmetology school, if you're thinking about going to cosmetology school, if, you know, whatever. I want to know what you guys think. Like I said, I love getting your opinions and I love talking to you guys, so please let me know. I hope that video was coherent and I didn't talk too fast or too much. We'll see when I'm editing. But I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.